So here's a major life update for you. About a year ago, my husband and I bought what we hope is our forever apartment here in Florence, Italy. And it was an older apartment because I love the details of older homes, which meant that the apartment needed to be completely gut renovated. And to be honest, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. This is the apartment the day that we saw it, and I just knew it had really good bones. It had terraces off of every single room, plus a veranda, two bathrooms that definitely needed to be remodeled. And what really sold me on this apartment were some of the special details, like this hand-painted mural from the previous owners that is also our built-in closet. Again, look how big these terraces are. There's so much I can do with all of this space. And the other thing that just really sold me on this apartment was this built-in marble fireplace that you cannot find in apartments in Florence anymore. Here's where I really started to realize the gravity of what we had just done. This was the day we got the keys to our apartment. And newsflash, in Italy, there is really no such thing as a final walkthrough. So this is what the apartment looked like when we got it. I would say very different from the day that we walked through it. And my husband and I had to clean all of this out ourselves. This was when we realized there was nobody coming to save us. We were on a really tight budget for this renovation. And also, we had to live in a rental while the renovations were going on. And we knew we could only afford to live in the rental for like 4 or 5 months, which is lightning speed here in Italy. People spend years renovating their apartments. So literally the day we got the keys, within an hour or two, we were in the apartment, gloves on, just cleaning. This apartment is also on the second floor of a non-elevator building. So that means it's up 2 flights of stairs. So we also had to install this little pulley system, which was how we were going to get all of the broken up tile and concrete out of the apartment as we demoed. So as an American, I didn't really understand what renovating the plumbing and the electric meant. And it meant a complete gut reno because the plumbing and the electric runs through plaster, walls, and concrete floors. And that meant that we had to rip up absolutely everything. It was very traumatic because I would have lived in the apartment the way that it was before, but my husband was adamant that all of the plumbing and electric, heating, gas needed to be updated because it hadn't been updated in like 70 years. And this is why in Italy, people renovate like one time in their life because you can't possibly live here while you're doing this. And it just became so much more expensive than I thought. Luckily, we had budgeted correctly, but we were doing a lot of stuff ourselves as much as we could. Here in Italy, in order to do the plumbing and electric and heating and gas and things like that, you can't really do it yourself unless you are a tradesman, because you do need to get certifications. This is where we were completely demoing the bathrooms, and this is where I just realized how completely in over my head I was. Once all the pipework was relayed, they poured the massetto, which is the concrete, back over all the piping, which I will never understand, frankly. Not only did they pour all of the concrete back over the piping, they leveled it out with a 2x4 because I was told that that's just the way they do things. And even though it's an old method, it doesn't mean it's a bad method. This is not the first time that will be a conversation. So the absolute best part about doing this in Italy, especially as a designer and someone who loves artisan made, is that you are completely spoiled for choice on the interiors. Oh my gosh, this was Venetian glass tile, way out of our budget, but a girl can dream. Even just being able to go to all these stores and discover all of these different artisanal crafts and techniques was insane. Back to the apartment where my husband was basically finishing the work himself because we were on our like 3rd or 4th contractor at this point because they were all doing abysmal work. That's a whole other video. I finally got the tile in that I selected. I probably went to 10 different stores to select this tile. At a very specific vision, leaning into the warm tones and woods of the apartment. This was another moment that broke my brain when we used a string and tape and a 2x4 to start lining up the diagonal checkerboard tiling. But again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This was my husband finishing the plastering himself again because a lot of the workers that we hired were complete shit, to be honest. But finally, after months and months, once the tile started to go in and everything started to come to life, this is finally when I let out a little bit of a breath and got pretty excited because I was feeling really confident in the decisions that I had made. The hardest part about all of this is that you're spending so much money and you can't really go back. I happen to like really bold interiors, so this is one of the bathroom tiles. It is a marble effect tile for the first bathroom that I also hand placed every single tile, and the tile guys probably wanted to kill me. This is the second bathroom that is in our bedroom that is also a marble effect tile. It looks really small here, but actually in person, I'll show you guys a video later after it's finished. It came out really, really nice. While all of this was going on, my husband and I were painting the entire apartment because we got quoted over 6,000 euros to paint this apartment. And like I said, we are on a very, very, very tight budget. Plus, I wanted to do this lime wash type effect throughout the kitchen and the living room, and I couldn't find the color that I liked after going to about 10 different stores. So I ended up mixing the color myself because sometimes you've just got to create the vision that you see in your head. Nobody's going to do it for you. So the other big thing that I'm really proud of in this apartment is that everything except for the bathrooms and the tile floor is upcycled. We got this real wood kitchen for around 200 euros on Facebook Marketplace. We had to go pick it up ourselves and haul it up here, and we installed all of it ourselves. I think all in, our kitchen cost us 800 euros because we just didn't have the budget to do a full kitchen remodel. And you know what? That's okay. One day I will, and I'll be able to invest and do it the way I want. And until then, I have a real wood, nice kitchen, and I kept it from going to a landfill. And here is the reveal. As of a month ago, we have officially moved in. We have such a long way to go. Let's normalize not being able to do your entire house all at once. I'm really invested in sourcing vintage and unique finds and artisan pieces for this apartment, just like the rest of my life. So follow along if you want to see the journey of that. Ciao from Firenze.